All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? I am Is There No One Else? The video I'm bringing you today is a quick build, really easy build and brief tutorial on how to beat veteran Maelstrom Arena on a Magicka Templar. Now, I have had this request before. Somebody posted in the video I posted last night. This is what they wanted to see. Because PvP is the way it is, with how laggy it is, the load screens and everything, I'm going to be doing Maelstrom anyways. I'm going to be getting my transmutation stones until they fix that, and then I'll be able to bring my brand new gear into there when it's all taken care of. But if you guys have not beaten VMA, you talked yourself out of getting a weapon because you didn't want to spend that much time farming and you didn't want to go through the frustration, I totally understand. Now that they made it a lot easier, now you're looking to get in there and you want to play it on a certain character. I will state before I get into this, Magicka Templar is definitely not the easiest one to do it on. Sustain is a little bit harder than other classes. Damage is pretty good, but just your tankiness, survivability, and your sustain is not as easy as other classes. If all things are equal, if you're just as good on a Magicka Sorc as you are a Magicka Templar, I would go into Maelstrom on a Magicka Sorc. If you're just as good on a Nightblade as you are on a Templar, I would go in on a Nightblade. With all that being said, though, your best class for Maelstrom Arena is the one you are most comfortable with. They're close enough to where there's no one class that's so bad that I would consider basically going to something else. If you're good at a class and you enjoy playing it, learn to beat it. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take effort. That it's not gonna come easy. In order to get good at this, you need to be able to put in the effort. You need to just know that you're going to die a few times, and that's just the way it's gonna be. Now, before I get into this, I want to let you guys know I have not done Maelstrom Arena on my Magicka Templar since about February. So it's been about 9 months for me. It's been a few sustain patches ago. I literally threw together a set and I hopped in there. Threw on the same skills that I had before, so my muscle memory when it comes to this build isn't as good. I forgot a lot of times. I died in a bunch of ways, but I wanted to show you guys the rotation that I used to beat it. I wanted to show you the quick boss fights that I recorded today, just to kind of walk you through. So if you want to beat it on a Magicka Templar, you can. So here are stats: 1651 magic recovery, 40,000 max Magicka, 2362 spell damage, 49% crit. We were running Witch Mother's Potent Brew. We want the recovery because of how sustain currently is. I am a stage 4 vampire. I would recommend either going down to stage 1 or removing vampire completely for Maelstrom. There's a lot of fire. I just do it because I'm so used to Maelstrom that even when I know my class, when I know my build, and when I'm comfortable in the arena, I don't really have a problem with stage 4 vampire. If you're starting out, I would definitely drop this down, reduce the amount of damage you take. This is engaging in hard mode, basically. We're running the Lover Mundus Stone for increased physical and spell penetration. Everybody loves penetration. We are running, let's go over the gear. Now, this is not the best gear that you can do this for, okay? I'm just gonna state that right now. This isn't the best gear. This is easily acquired stuff that you can hop into Maelstrom with today. It doesn't take long to get. I will provide other alternatives for a couple of things that you don't have, but really easy to get. You can beat it. And the best part about doing Maelstrom on some classes that are a little bit harder like this, guys, is if you do it all in one go and you get a score, on Xbox, for instance, the leaderboard is the top 100. There are not 100 people beating Maelstrom weekly for Templar or Warden or Dragon Knight. So if you want those transmutation stones, you can get them on each run and you get them in the weekly leaderboards if you can get a full completed run with a score. Now there's some of those, sometimes like you need to have a 100k score or you need to have a 200k score because there's like 105 people that completed it. But in general, those 3 classes don't really have a whole lot of people that beat it. Sorcs do, Nightblades do, because those are the easier ones to beat it on. So if you can get good at one of these classes, If you run 1 run a week, you get 2 rewards. So, and then you get 8 transmutation stones. So we're running a dummy Inferno staff on our back bar. It doesn't matter what this is. I just had a Moon Dancer Inferno staff and Precise. I put a weapon damage enchant on it. This can be literally any Inferno staff. You do not need a VMA staff to beat Maelstrom Arena, okay? I just have it in Precise. Sharpened would be better. I threw this on. I did not want to gold out a weapon. This is what I had. This is what I did it with. I ran 2 Seducer swords. I meant to put on my Torix pack swords, but I forgot, and I ran Seducer anyways. So I missed out on damage by doing this. I had a purple weapon, and I had a gold weapon. Gold Torix would be better for this. Nirnhoned or Sharpened. I think Sharpened is better. We are running 2 Vulcan Scoria, preferably in Divines for the pieces. Now, the reason I run Scoria over Grothdar is Grothdar kills me in the poison round. Stage 7 or whatever, when you kill the final boss, when you have to go underneath the shield guy. Grothdar hits so hard, it kills one of those menders, and it's just frustrating. So I'd rather go in there with Scoria. If you guys want, run Grothdar all the way through. When you get to the poison round, put on Vulcan Scoria. You can do that. But I just put on Scoria. If you do not have Scoria, it doesn't matter. If you do not have Grothdar, it doesn't matter. You can put on Slimecraw. If you don't have Slimecraw, put on a 4-piece here. Craft Magnus swords, and then put on 1-piece Magnus and another piece Magnus. Something like that. It's not a big deal if you don't have this stuff. I mean, Scoria helps, but it's not a game changer. And then we are running 5 Julianos. This is a 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy setup. Preferably all Divines. I do have it infused from a long time ago. And then we are running 3 Willpower. Now, Infallible Aether would be better, but not everybody has Infal. Willpower is super easy to get. It's super cheap. Most people probably already have it. I ran 2 spell damage enchants with 1 recovery. I think starting out 2 recovery and 1 spell damage would be better because I was having a little bit of sustain issues, just hopping in there myself. But if you're new to this class, I think having 2 would be better than the one that I had. So as far as skills go, on our Destro bar, we were running Repentance, we were running Blazing Spears, we were running Blockade of Fire, Channeled Focus, Reflective Light, and Fiery Rage. This is going to be our main bar where we sustain at. This is going to be where we put down our big dots for big boss fights, big ad pulls. We're going to stand in an area, and the thing with VMA, all the ads have to come to us. They're going to come fight us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down our stuff, and then we're going to charge up a heavy attack, and we're going to try and hit everybody with Reflective Light, and then we're going to switch to our other bar, and we're going to get to jabbing. Fiery Rage is for boss fights. It's for big mob pulls when you really just need to wipe something really quickly. Very useful in quite a few fights. All these are very useful. Channeled Focus is the must for VMA, in my opinion. Channeled Focus gives you so much Magicka recovery that it's 120 Magicka every 0.5 seconds. That's 240 every second. That turns out to 480 Magicka recovery. So in VMA, when you're rolling around and you're fighting, you kind of want to be in and out and around your rune. You want to try and keep your rune up all the time. This is going to be the biggest part of your sustain. The reason we're running Repentance is because we are running Witch Mothers. We have a lower stamina pool. The free heal does come in handy. The stamina return is nice when all of a sudden we're in an oh shit situation. We made a mistake, and now we can drain bodies. We can get our stamina back. Very useful. Our front bar, we are running Puncturing Sweeps. This is going to be our spammable DPS. This does good damage, and then it also heals us. So this is basically how we're going to heal in VMA. We are running Harness Magicka, Purifying Light. This is going to be dropped only on the big ads, guys, the really big ads. So we only use this for the bigger guys because more often than not, everything's going to die with our wall and our reflective lights before it even gets to us. So yeah, Radiant Glory or Radiant Oppression. Radiant Glory is the easier one to do when you're starting out because it will heal you. Burn an enemy with a ray of holy fire, dealing 16,000 magic damage. Deals up to 330% more damage to enemies below 50% health. You also heal for 20% of the damage inflicted. So while you're in this channel, this one heals you, so you're not going to all of a sudden die. Very useful. And then Inner Light for max magicka, extra crit. And then we were running Shooting Star on our front bar for the 2% Magicka recovery, 2% max Magicka, and a cheaper ultimate that's very bursty. So as far as our CP goes, we're running 62 Warlord, 76 Arcanist, 64 into Tenacity, 28 into Tumbling, 11 Bless, 61 Elfborn, 38 Spell Erosion, 64 Elemental Expert, 56 Thaumaturge, 61 Ironclad, 2 Thick-Skinned, 27 Hardy, 27 Elemental Defender, 57 Bastion, and 56 into Quick Recovery. That's the down and dirty of the build. As far as how we're going to play it goes, I'll show you guys the clips, but basically you want to get your dots down. The minute you start taking damage, guys, you go to your front bar and you put on Harness Magicka. Harness Magicka is now going to protect you, and you go in and you start jabbing. So if you take a bunch of damage, Harness, jab. I tried running Maelstrom for a long time with Breath of Life. I tried running with Honor the Dead and all that, and it was just a huge Magicka drain. I ended up having to run so much more recovery because I was constantly hitting Breath of Life to stay healed to full, when in fact all it takes is my jabs. My jabs heal me. My Purifying Light in the big boss fights, that heals me. My Repentance will heal me. All these things heal. My Radiant Glory heals. So I already have a bunch of heals. I do not need Breath of Life. So that's the gist of the build. I'm going to go through basically just the clips that I managed to record today for you guys, just so you can see kind of how it's employed. Let me enlarge this. So this is the first boss. We're going to put down all of our dots. We put down our Destro ulti. We put down our Purifying Light, and we get the jabbing. Purifying Light's going to explode. It's a bunch of burst. Once the stuff goes away, we reapply our dots. And then we want to, you see how I'm just basically going through my rotation, getting my dots down. I take some damage there. I put on Harness Magicka, and I get back to jabbing. You see how I heal to full. Dodge roll out, basically put my dots up again. I'm going to put Harness right here, and then I'm going to jab, and then I'm going to heal to full. And once he gets below 25%, then I hit him with Radiant Glory. I got my Purifying Light on, another quick zap with Radiant Glory, and he's dead. The first boss is pretty easy. Now, like I said, this isn't as high a damage as other setups. This is just a really quick throw together one. You see the damage is solid. This one, I'm definitely, let me pause here. This is by far the hardest stage for me. It's going to look a lot harder now because this is, I'm 4 minutes into playing this setup for the first time in 9 months, so that's my brief excuse. I'm never really good at killing these three bosses, but basically what you want to try and do is you want to try and sustain and basically stay alive. They only have a couple things that really hurt you. The Whirling Blades will hurt you a little bit, but you keep your harness up, you keep your channeled focus down, and you do a lot of heavy attacks when they're bouncing up and down if you can burn them the way Andy S can, like, in general. So I make some big mistakes here. I run out of magic because I don't have my channeled focus down, and so now I just have to be patient. And this isn't, I'm not posting this clip because it's like, oh guys, look how awesome I am on a Magic Templar. You have to. He's taking a big swing at me, so I dodge roll. You have to put in the time and the effort if you want to get in big scores. If you want to get really good Maelstrom scores, you can't just go in there one time and expect to be, the best player at this. I haven't done this in 11 months. I shouldn't be able to come in here and be as good as other guys. So I'm just being careful, staying around my channel focus. I use my Repentance there to get my stamina back in case I have to dodge roll again. He's low enough health. I just zap him with my Radiant Glory because I know it's going to heal me. I do it in my channeled focus so I get some Magicka back. That was a very, very terrible boss kill. But you just be patient. You try and keep your channeled focus down, and you'll see as this goes on that I get a lot better with doing that. I get a lot better with how I'm doing everything. Hold on one second. Yeah. So you see I put my channel down this time. I got my Purifying Light. I got all my dots. It's the same rotation every time. Now for this boss, I wait until the first set of ads drop before I drop my ultimate. You see how I got that guy over there. I basically am going to drop my Destro right here. Took some damage. Wait for him to come in. Got my channel down since it went away. I saw I was losing Magicka. Apparently, there's my Destro. And so now, I put my Purifying Light on. This is going to blow up for a lot, and now I can just go to hitting Radiant Glory, and he's just going to blow up in like almost instantly. So really quick boss kill. Save your Destro ulti for that one, you know, a little bit later on. In general, with that fight, she hits pretty hard, so the minute you take damage, you put Harness on, you jab. And your jabs are going to heal you. So that's the useful part about this type of setup, is you do hit hard, so you heal for a decent amount, and there's no magicka wasted, which is very useful. You have to time your Destro ultis. As you can see, I've died twice so far. One time was because I got stuck on the wrong bar, and the other time was I forgot where my Harness magicka was, and I was spamming buttons like an idiot, and I died. But in general, all these, if you guys want to see full runs, I would definitely go check out Andy S on YouTube. They're older clips. He's running a completely different build than I am. Some of those builds probably are not viable right now due to how Sustain is running. But the mechanics are the same. So if you want to see, if you're having a hard time at one spot, type in Andy S Maelstrom Arena Magicka Templar or Stamina Nightblade. He's literally done it on just about everything, and he's got a full run on there at some point, and you can see what he's doing that you're not. So if you have any questions about this, like, people already have that sort of content. This is just me showing you, you know, this specific setup that I ran. I took this clip really quickly because I wanted to show you, if you want to get a really high score run, you don't use the sigils. If you just want to beat it, use the sigils. The sigils are so useful. They have a speed sigil. There's the one with the goblet, gives you health recovery, which keeps you pretty, keeps your health up. You will lose some points, but if you're trying to just beat this and you're trying to get it down, and you know you're tired of just trying to beat the mechanics and you just want, you know, the easier way, use the sigils. The big axe gives you a lot more damage, and the defense one that I just picked up that I wanted to show you guys, what it does is it makes you a lot more tanky, and it reflects all casted abilities while the duration is up. So in this ice round, there are a lot of casters, and the casters are a huge pain in the ass, especially for magicka builds that do not have wings, because they just do so much damage. And they kind of sit out in the water, and the water does damage. It's a little frustrating. So because I hadn't been on here in a while, I picked up the defense sigil, because what it does is it reflects. Every time they try and hit me, it reflects back and it does damage to them. So you see here, I'm just basically standing in my spot, watching out for those big swings, getting my reflective light down, getting my jabs down. Those guys basically killed themselves with that defensive thing. Now I'm staying in my channeled focus, putting my dots down because the next group of ads is coming up. I want to make sure I take out the troll because he's going to knock out the ice thing. This is basically the whole quick round for you guys, just to show you guys, you know, kind of how you go through killing all these things. So I got my wall, reflective light, and then I put my harness on because this big guy's right behind me. Normally he hits pretty hard, so I wanted to make sure I take that. See, I take damage there. I put harness magic on. I get to hitting my sweeps. This guy's getting kind of far away from me, so I head over here. You see I put harness magic on right when I go in the water. You see how I'm not really, like, my health bar is not going down because I'm noticing when I'm taking damage. And when I start taking damage, that's when I just put harness back on. And in between rounds, I put my channeled focus on just to boost my magicka recovery, and now we're on the boss fight. Now, I'm pretty sure I wipe here. Almost certain I do, but I wanted to kind of show you guys, you know, sometimes there are some frustrating things that happen. I think I died 4 or 5 times in this round due to animations. Like, she does this little red animation around her feet right there that shows that she's jumping, and then she, like, jumps over to me. That's right there. So I move over. That red animation didn't show up for me for a few times, which sucked. I wanted to put a Destro ulti basically in the way so they walked into it. I didn't put enough dots on the troll because I wasn't running the same setup I'm used to, so that basically almost killed me right there. I got hit with an uppercut and I was on the wrong bar. So with this round, guys, I normally start out at the round where that one was. I normally go from the speed sigil to the health recovery one to the attack and defense one, because, you know, if you guys aren't very good at this specific round, it's based off of damage done. And so I like to save the defense and attack sigil for the last part if I need it. So if all of a sudden, like, you know, it's 30 seconds are up and she's about ready to destroy the last pillar, and I know that I don't have enough damage, the next time I do it, I just pick up the attack sigil and I go to work. Or if I'm just taking way too much damage and I'm not sure exactly how to do it and I want to beat the round, I pick up the defense and attack sigil. You know, there's nothing wrong with picking up sigils if you're trying to get your first complete. You know, when you go for high scores, that's when you don't pick them up. But I will never get a high score with this specific build. So, yeah. So this is the spider round. Basically, it's the same old stuff. You know, I'm putting my dots down to keep my channel focus down. You want to kill the spiders. Basically, you open up all these little pillars. Once you open up all of them, she gets stunned on the ground. I should have done a little bit more damage to her before I did this, but it's going to work out okay. You know, a little spoiler there. But basically, you know, you do your dots like you always do, and then you apply your purifying light. Purifying light heals you. See, she's below 50% health. We have this other ad coming up. That's why I should have waited a little bit longer. But because we have Radiant Glory and it's going to heal us, I'm going to sit here and spam it just like I'm a fucking Zergling in PvP, and I, you know that I won't die. So it keeps me healed to full. I hit Radiant Glory after a pretty good burst, and that's that. This boss, the reason I brought this up is just another point in being patient. This poison round is a huge pain in the ass because these little fucking spores will kill you. If you take damage from the spore, you have to go cleanse yourself in this green thing. You get 2 per round, and then they don't reset until afterwards. So you got to really be aware of where you're at with these green spores, because when the witch comes up, you'll see her, you'll recognize her. She's the dead person right here. There's 4 little platforms that she pops up on. You have to kill her right away so these don't blow up. They'll blow up when you walk over them, and they'll blow up when she's summoning and making them pop. So you have to watch out for that in this round. You have to manage your resources. You have to keep your harness magic up, and then you also have to deal with guys that snare you and they do dot damage. Now, I wanted to show this because, you know, my resources are a little bit lower. I don't do this super well, but it's just all about being patient. So I put my dots down. I had to dodge roll because you want to dodge roll the tail swipe. I'm still taking dot damage. I'm jabbing. I put my dots down again. He does the stomp thing, so I thought he was about ready to do more damage. I see that I have a meteor. Drop the meteor, purifying light, radiant, and it's over. And then I put harness on so I don't die. I had a crazy dot ticking on me. I don't really know what that was, so I had to back up. This is the boss round. That's the lady I was telling you about where she summons poison. Basically, you DPS this big fucking bastard, and when these guys pop up, you kill one of them, and then you'll see here I put basically dots on both of them, and I start hitting this guy with Radiant because I'm trying to really just get in there. The other person dies from my dots, so now all I have to do is stand in here, hit him with Radiant, and it's over. Now, obviously, these aren't the smoothest rounds, you know, by any means, but just kind of an idea of what you do, how you apply rotation, how you survive, how you know, kind of sustain. This round, the biggest tip I can give you have to kill these 3 pillars before you can do damage to the boss. When you kill 2 pillars, look along the outside. There will be a guy that sometimes summons. And then what you want to do before you kill the 3rd portal is you want to kill him. I kind of forgot about that. I died because I killed the 2 and I went towards the 3rd one, and I was DPSing the boss. I was trying to just burn him. That guy started summoning fire, and I got melted and I died. So you want to kill 2 of these. You want to check along the outside to see if that guy's going to pop up, because he's the one you have to worry about. These fire Atronox, they don't do a damn thing. Don't worry about those guys. So if those guys pop up, that's good for you. You see I was going to do damage. I see that my dot didn't kill that. So now I go back to applying my dots. I put harness on, get out of the red. You know, standing in the red does not heal you. Hit with Radiant Glory, it's over. And now we're on to the final round. Not doing super well, but that's okay. You know, if I did this another time, my score would be a lot better than what I got on here. So the final round, what you have to do is you have to DPS him down to about 700,000 health. He comes up here, You kill a clan fear on one of the little portals. You come up here and you kill these crystals. Now, when he does this animation right here, he's going to launch a skull at you. And the way dodge roll works is basically a half a second before you dodge roll and a half second after you dodge roll, you dodge all attacks. So you don't have to time it absolutely perfectly. You have a nice leeway. You see how I dodge roll here? The skull will always miss when you'll hear the animation. You'll be able to time it to where when you dodge roll there, you'll just be able to get out of the way. You can block it, but the problem with being up here is he also launches other stuff. If you block it and you get hit by something else, all of a sudden you're stunned on the ground and you have a dot ticking on you, and it's a little bit more of a pain in the ass. I just prefer to dodge roll on all of my classes. So now I'm just killing the stuff. That's the crater. When you take out those three things, he knocks you down here and he's going to start shooting fire at you. So what you're going to want to do, since I got so far away, you just keep your harness up. You want to keep spamming harness. You want to bash him. Put harness magic on again. Put your wall down. That time I had to block because I couldn't dodge roll. Purifying light. Channeled focus. Went to jabbing way too far away. They're summoning, but you only have to kill the summoners if your DPS isn't very good. They're just like any other boss. There are some mechanics you can avoid. There are some mechanics that you have to do. These are mechanics you can avoid if you have damage. So I just decided to avoid the mechanics because that's what I normally do. When he portals the first time and he starts shooting that stuff at you, you bash him, you put your dots down. We don't drop our ultimate until he portals the first time when he's on this first level. So he drops down, he starts shooting skulls at you, you bash. When he ports, that's when you drop your ultimate, because he'll stand here longer, he'll stay in your Destro ulti or in your Meteor dot a little bit longer. You want to pick up these gold, the gold sigils or the gold ghosts, because when you pick up 3, you stun them, put them on the ground, and it's over. I don't need to do that because we're going to bash him here, Radiant Glory, he's at 80k health. We're basically going to avoid this other guy, we're going to hit spam harness, and then we're just going to hit him with Radiant Glory, and he's now dead. And that's the end of Maelstrom Arena. A lot longer than I thought it would be. I thought I'd be able to explain this better, but hopefully you guys see that, you know, there is better gear out there. If you guys want to farm better gear, absolutely go run it. But you can absolutely beat Maelstrom with Julianos, Willpower, Scoria, and Tor Expect with a dummy staff. I didn't get a good score, but if I ran this again like 4 or 5 more times this week, I'm very confident I would break 520, 530. You know, if I get really lucky and there's no lag, and like there was for me today, maybe I'll get in the 540 range, you know. But this arena is all about memorization. It's all about knowing where you have to drop, and it's all about knowing how to survive, sustain resources, and applying your dots. Applying your dots is the biggest thing. Now, this is the best way I've found for beating Maelstrom on my Magicka Templar. There are obviously a bunch of other ways. I know people use Breath of Life. I know other people use Double Destro. This is just what I did when I beat it. So, like I said before, the nice part about doing this is if you complete it all in one run. I think my score was like 470, 480, something like that. Not a good run, but that will place me in the top 100. So I will get stones at the end of the week. I will get another weapon drop also at the end of the week. So for my one frustrating Maelstrom run on a Magicka Templar, I get 2 weapons. So keep that in mind. You know, be patient. Really just focus on each individual round. Don't let the fact that you died 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 times bother you. You know, just go, okay, I died. How did I die? Okay, I died because this guy hit me with this. Okay, what can I do? Can I shield through it? No, I have to dodge roll. Oh, I can't dodge roll because there's an AoE. I have to shield or I have to do more damage. Do I have to save my ultimate to hit him first? Should I just pop a sigil? You know, just start thinking about it, because getting angry and getting frustrated in Maelstrom is why most people don't beat it. You have to have a level head and you have to really just approach it. Okay, I didn't beat it that time. That's okay. I'm going to beat it this time. What do I do? And just, you know, take some time, get in here, get good at it, and get your weapons. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to see another one like this and want to watch me struggle through another Maelstrom run, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.